All right, so we've got big news from the Southeastern Conference, breaking news that we kind of expected to have happen, but it is official. The SEC will move to a 9-game conference football schedule in 2026. I'm not going to read the whole release, but here are the highlights. A single standings, non-divisional structure will continue.
Divisions are not coming back.
The East and West will not be coming back. Each school will play 3 annual opponents focused on maintaining many traditional rivalries.
And that's not pods.
That's not pods because
each school will have a different 3 opponents.
The rest of this kind of explains that. Each team's remaining 6 games will rotate among the remaining conference schools. Each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years, and then every opponent home and away in 4 years. So what does that mean? That means that, let's just say for next year, one of State's games is Mississippi State at South Carolina, okay? Mm-hmm. That does not necessarily mean that in 2027 you will see South Carolina at Mississippi State. You will see South Carolina at Mississippi State sometime from 2026 to 2029, but it will not necessarily be the way it is this year where State last year was at Texas, at Georgia, at Ole Miss, and at Tennessee. That's why those schools are coming to Starkville this year. That's what that means.
Yes.
The fun part of this is now we got to guess who your permanents are. It's 2 of yours are easy. 2 of Ole Miss's are easy. They will keep Mississippi State. They will keep LSU.
Yes.
Ole Miss's 3rd is interesting.
I want it to be Arkansas.
Arkansas makes a lot of sense. It's a historical rivalry.
Games are always fun.
The games are always fun.
Fan bases kind of hate each other. There's a little spice there.
There's some spice there. That makes a lot of sense to keep those. The problem is this with Arkansas, right? Arkansas is going to want to probably keep LSU because they have a trophy game with them. They have a trophy game with Missouri.
They do.
And then, do they want Ole Miss? Do they want to try to keep with Texas?
Or Texas A&M?
Texas A&M? I don't know. A&M, and they've had that neutral site game, which is finally off campus. That's an interesting one. For State, oh my gosh, now the classes are coming in. We'll do this. We will come back to it. For State,
Ole Miss is
1. And then you really have your choice there. I feel like State will keep – I wouldn't be surprised to see State and Kentucky get back together. Not playing each other these last 2 years, but that was State's East permanent from the time that they split into the division. Yeah. State played Kentucky every year from 92 to 2023.
So, by the way, I don't know if this is still the line of thinking, but when they started exploring the 9 conference games, the initial idea was for the 3 permanent opponents to split the league in half, the top 8 and the bottom 8.
Right.
And it would be based on your conference standing over the last 10 years.
Correct.
And if you were a team in the top, you would have to play 2 teams from the top, and you would get one from the bottom.
And then the other way around.
So Mississippi State would be in the bottom.
So they could get – well, I mean –
so they could get –
I just want to preface this with I'm not saying anything about y'all, but Ole Miss is one of those bottom 8 as well.
It still would be for maybe that's changed, but I think because of 10 years –
Of a 10-year span, it wouldn't have changed. So
not yet.
So Ole Miss would count – and then you get somebody like Arkansas
or Kentucky.
Kentucky could go with Mississippi State. And then I hope it's not Alabama, but it'll probably be Alabama. But the problem with Alabama is this. Alabama's going to keep Auburn. Auburn, I think, is on the bottom one.
The top would be – we need to go back.
The top is going to be Alabama, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Tennessee's going to be in the top, I think. Florida is probably in the top because if you go 10 years, they're going to be up there. Oklahoma is probably going to be in the top. They've had a rough couple years, but that's probably in the top. And then it's either Auburn or Texas A&M. It's probably Auburn over them, right?
I think so.
So then Auburn would count as one of the top schools for Alabama. That would be a big break for Alabama. But the problem is, because, if Auburn was their low school, and you're telling me like their 3 is LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn, that's pretty tough. Because that's the other thing with Alabama. They have 2 rivalries. They're going to want to keep Tennessee as well.
And there are some teams that would be on the bottom.
Georgia's going to want to keep Auburn and Florida. I don't know. Tennessee
Auburn
probably wants
Alabama
to keep Vanderbilt,
Georgia, yeah.
but at the same time, do they care? Do they care that much? I don't know if Tennessee cares that much about Vanderbilt. Texas is an interesting one. They want to keep Oklahoma and Texas A&M.
No doubt. Texas A&M does not want Texas, but they're
I think Texas A&M because they have a big corporate sponsor. They're getting money for that now.
Oh yeah, congratulations to them on that.
Yeah.
So what this means, by the way,
that's a good point. Auburn should be number one in the league. They have the most national titles.
They do. I mean, they just won 7 national championships. But what this means? It means a lot of things. Number one, your schools are getting more money. The only way that they were going to go to 9 conference games is if ESPN offered more money for the additional game. This also means that you, the fan, are going to get more compelling matchups. So
especially if the SEC decides we also want to keep.
In the release, it's still there.
Okay, then.
So and they reduced it. So it's Washington State no longer grandfathered in. So you can't play, Washington State won't count anymore. They count for Ole Miss this year. They won't moving forward.
They won't count next year.
The 3 other
That's
power
interesting.
conferences.
State has a home and away with Washington State scheduled.
They'll have to add 1 or 30, take that one off.
Yeah. They'll have to take it off because I'm pretty sure,
you don't want to play Washington State. And then also.
And this kind of goes with what I was asking Jeremy McClain yesterday. It's not that State might not want to play Southern Mississippi, but if you're playing 9 conference games, your 3 non-conference games, you want home games.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're going to play – if you play a non-conference road game, you're playing – what? But you might have years where you're only playing 6 games at home. Yep. Everybody wants to try to get 7. So
at least 7.
It's going to be a situation where State might buy out a road game with Southern Mississippi. I don't know the answer to that. We're pretty far off from that.
But this also means so that game would have to change, or they add one that year because that in the release they mentioned the 3 conferences plus Notre Dame, and that was it. Mm-hmm. But you have to play those games. So you are now going to get 10 power conference games on your schedule.
Let's just look ahead. Right now, Mississippi State has 4 non-conference games scheduled for next year. One of these is going to get canceled.
Yep.
All right. They have Louisiana Monroe. They're at Minnesota, so they'll keep that obviously. But that's a road game. Not great.
Not great.
Troy and then Tennessee Tech. You're going to keep the FCS game. So
but that would be the cheapest one to buy.
It would, but you're going to want to keep your because we know that those paydays are big, for
especially
the FCS
that date the week before the Egg Bowl.
So it's a good point. The date of that is already set for 11/21. So that means either Louisiana Monroe or Troy is coming off of the schedule.
Ole Miss has issues with this too. Hey, Dad, you mentioned Washington State. Ole Miss has Oregon State in 2027 and 2030.
Yeah.
Though those either have to go or you have to add
another game.
Next year, Ole Miss does not have a power opponent.
They will get one.
They might be doing a kickoff game, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have a week 1 game scheduled yet.
Ole Miss is at Charlotte next year. Really? That's a rough one.
I mean, I get me rolling my eyes.
I get playing at Southern Mississippi because they're an in-state school, and you have that. There's history. Tulane would make sense. Memphis would make sense. Charlotte is rough.
It's ridiculous.
It's not even a 2-for-1. It's not a 2-for-1. You got a home and away with Charlotte. That's hard to believe. Wow.
Trust me,
I didn't know. Okay.
If that still happens. I'll have thoughts. But, yeah, I mean, they're in trouble. 2028, they don't have one. 29, they don't have one.
Yeah,
Oregon State, 30, they'll have to figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
But those games are gone. You can see how this is happening in order, by the way. So, yesterday, Greg Sankey and the SEC lobbied for the college football playoff selection to be rooted in strength of schedule and strength of record. Mm-hmm. He did it at media days, both on the podium and with us. They have been, they sent all that information out, remember, about how much more difficult our schedules are. So they wanted that first. They got that. So now strength of schedule matters in playoff selection. Next thing they wanted was, we're not going to 9 conference games unless you give us more money. They clearly got that. They're going to 9 conference games. Here's the next thing that's going to happen. The SEC is going to get the playoff format they want. Remember, the SEC and the Big Ten now decide what the playoff format is. Yeah. It is exclusively up to the 2 of them. The ACC and Big 12 try to lobby for what they want, but they don't have a say. It's just these 2. The Big Ten said in the last round of negotiations, we're not letting you have the 5+11 unless you go to 9 conference games. Yeah. The SEC wants 5+11. The Big Ten wants the 4-4, 2-2, 1-1, 1-1 garbage that they put out there.
Yeah.
This could mean that you're getting 5+11.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, that's
so
4 conference champions, highest-ranked group of 5, 11 at-larges.
Jeff and Pontotoc did the dirty work here for us. He's got the 16 teams in the SEC ranked by the last 10 years. So your top 8 are Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma. Poor Oklahoma. They're getting screwed.
That's so
LSU, A&M is actually 5th over the last decade. Texas,
Thanks, Johnny.
Florida, Tennessee. So if what you're saying is correct, and
that's what they were considering.
That you're going to get 2 from the. If you're a top team, you get 2 from the top and 1 from the bottom. Then Alabama is just in trouble because they've got to get. They're going to get out. They're going to get Tennessee and Auburn, and then either Georgia, Oklahoma, LSU, A&M, Texas, or Florida. Probably LSU, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and
right.
Your
bottom 8.
Ole Miss gets lucky being at 9.
Ole Miss being 2 games out of 8th, gets to be 9th. Kentucky, Auburn, Missouri, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Arkansas, Vanderbilt. This includes the 2024 season. So before this, State would have been in much better shape. Going 2-10, tanked them. Probably took them from 10th to 13th.
And is that the best way to do it, or do you do it rivalry first? So you just make sure all the rivalries.
Well,
you give Alabama.
I think
Auburn,
you can make it happen. Both happen. You can be balanced because what you don't want is
imbalance.
What you don't want is Arkansas having to play Texas, Alabama, and Georgia. Basically, you want to give these teams a chance to make bowls and a chance to be good. I think, but at the same time, you can make the rivalries work. There's not one that just stands out to me. You're like, oh, how are they going to do that? Like, because for Tennessee, right? Well, Tennessee might be an example of okay. Tennessee has 3 traditional rivals in terms of like trophy games or whatever, and that's Alabama, Kentucky, and Vandy. They're going to have to drop either Kentucky or Vandy because, and I mean, they also, Tennessee, they want to play Florida every year. They want to play Georgia every year. So they're going to lose one of those games.
Yeah.
Alabama will be able to keep Tennessee and Auburn. They'll probably keep LSU. Texas keeps Oklahoma and Texas A&M, and then you find somebody on the bottom.
Arkansas.
Probably Arkansas. That makes a lot of sense. But you could use this, though, as a way to get some new matchups in. Like, but what if Texas every year was playing
matchups in? Because now,
because you don't have to, because you know that in 4 years, if you're a Mississippi State fan, you know that starting next year, you will play every other school at least once.
Every school in the SEC
twice.
comes to your stadium at least
you'll
once
see
every
them
4
in
years.
Starkville at least once. You'll go to them at least once, and then there'll be 3 that you play every year.
You know what that sounds like? A real conference.
It does. I mean, we talked about that before, that Mississippi State plays at Florida this year for the first time since 2010.
That's ridiculous.
They're in the same conference.
I was a freshman in college in 2010.
This year they will play in Hattiesburg for the second time since 2015.
Just absolutely insane.
Mississippi State has played at Memphis in that time, at Tulane, all over the place, but they haven't played at Florida, and they're in the same conference. What's Ole Miss's? Who's the team they haven't played at in a long time? When's the last time they played at South Carolina?
Last season.
Was it last year?
Yep, and they played at Florida last season. They played at Missouri under Matt Luke.
They played at Georgia recently. Is it Tennessee? That was a couple years ago.
A&M?
No, Ole Miss plays A&M.
When was the last time, though?
At A&M?
Yeah, the most
2 years ago, wasn't it? They were in the same division.
That's right. So theirs is more balanced.
Ole Miss doesn't have a
schedule helped them.
Yeah, Ole Miss doesn't have a school that they just haven't been there in a long time. Is there a school that hasn't been to Oxford in a long time? When's the last time Tennessee was in Oxford?
Dexter McCluster?
No, they played there at Freezes in 14.
134-3 or something like that.
You know why I know that? That guy. You know what I'm talking about, wearing the sweater?
Yeah, they dominated that. But that's the last time.
But that's 2014.
Yeah.
So that's 9 years, yeah.
It's a long time.
By the way, that's 9 years.
Stop it. So this is actually
Georgia. That's I forgot about that. That's a good point, though. Georgia has not played at Texas A&M yet. They've been in the conference for 12 years.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, though. But I'm glad. I like this format. Somebody asked, is the SEC championship going away?
No,
not yet. Now there is a push for it to go away because if you're in the SEC, right? If you have, let's just play it out this year. The 2 favorites in the league are Texas and Georgia. Texas and Georgia meet in the SEC championship. What's the point of playing the game? Now,
Right.
Now Richard will tell you, well, because you still win a championship. Now, what's the point of playing in that game? You get your quarterback hurt. Ask Georgia what happens in the SEC championship game and your quarterback gets hurt.
Right.
You're both making the playoff anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the point of playing the game is a question that is being asked privately. Money, of course, is the answer, but privately coaches are saying, what's the point? I don't want my quarterback getting hurt in a game that is unnecessary for my playoff aspirations. I'm making it regardless. Mm-hmm. So that is a push, but right now it'll still exist. If the playoff expands beyond 16, it's gone. It might still be gone at 16, maybe down the road, but if the Big Ten gets their wish, they won't. I don't think. I shouldn't speak in absolutes, but if it goes beyond 16, the SEC championship, as you know, it is gone.
Agree.
And that will be some kind of play-in thing where the four and the
4 and the 5 play each
yeah.
other, and they get an automatic bid or whatever that is. So
something like that. So I'm excited about this.
Here we go. Good point by Andy Staples here. This is a chance to get some, because you got to play one game, right? You got to play one game outside of the SEC.
Yes.
Oklahoma should bring Bedlam back. They should play Oklahoma State.
The fact that that's even
you're going to keep Florida State. You're going to keep Kentucky Louisville. You're going to keep Georgia Tech. You're going to keep Clemson South Carolina. Oklahoma State absolutely should play each other.
Yes. Somebody says winner gets automatic bid. I understand that, but if Texas and last year both teams in the SEC championship were making the playoff anyway. They both had an automatic bid. By then, they were both in, and a loss would not have knocked them out. The conference championship games mattered for Iowa State. That's who got knocked out of the playoff.
Yeah.
If Clemson would have lost the ACC, they would have gotten knocked out. But on a year-in and year-out basis, the SEC championship features 2 teams, now that divisions are gone, that are going to make the playoff guaranteed 100% of the time, every single time. The top 2 teams in the SEC.
Yeah.
In the 12-team playoff, if there was an 8, they would have made it. And so that's why you're having those conversations behind the scenes. The coaches are wondering why, because we're making it regardless.
Right.
I hope it stays. I like it, but that's why people are talking about